Begin with the questions for the players. You want to go first, Sal? Please do.
Angel, Larry, just talk about what it meant to finish that game and get the victory after a couple of games where you guys struggled in the fourth quarter.
Honestly, it meant a lot to us. It started with Monday at practice. We had a meeting and we had a change of heart and a change of mindset that we were not. That's not going to happen again like the past 2 weeks has happened. So to finish like this and to actually commit like we have, and it's just a blessing.
Larry, can you just talk about that final drive where you guys were able to punch in the touch, Angels able to punch in the touchdown, just basically helping you guys seal the game?
Just a lot of energy. I'm just extremely fortunate. You're going to look at that game, and all you're going to see are just 5 linemen, 6 linemen. They rotate a tight end. They just absolutely blocked their hearts out, and it's just I'm extremely fortunate to run behind them. And then the defense is just giving us a ton of energy. They're just out there making stops. You have Tardieu putting the ball down inside the 1-yard line. There's just so much energy out there, and I've just been so fortunate to be a part of this team. And you just saw really the linemen step up and really take control of it. Like, we own the trenches. Ball State played their hearts out. They got there. They played extremely hard to the end, and just thankful to be behind that line.
Can this, for anybody, can this be a win that turns around your guys' season and gets you guys going in the right direction?
Go ahead, Chris.
Definitely is. This past week we told ourselves that we had an opportunity here to really turn everything around. We're coming back home, playing in front of our fans, playing in front of we think the best audience, the Corps Cadets, and we just knew we owed it to them and to ourselves to come out here and get this win and turn the season around.
Other questions for the players? Go ahead, Ken.
Jeremy, just tell us a little bit about stopping Ball State. You and Andrew King had a big day. You had an interception at the end. Just tell us about your strategy going in and how did it work out.
Well, this week's practice, I would have to say, was the best week of practice we've had all year. And everybody's really hitting on the same page. D linemen, linebackers, safeties coming up to make tackles. I didn't have that many tackles, but I have to credit to the great plays from the D-line, and especially Andrew King leading our team with 10 tackles. He played phenomenal out there, and everybody was just connecting out there.
Angel, just want to ask you again, you came off the bench to go in the game, play very effectively. How was it to go in and then, as I said, lead the team through the second half?
Honestly, it's a great feeling, but it wasn't just me out there. It was definitely main credit goes to the O-line. Man, they were just firing on all cylinders, and receivers were getting blocks downfield. And when you have running backs who run the ball hard and breaking many tackles throughout a run, it kind of makes the quarterback's job much easier.
As Larry, you had a big day running the ball. And you carried the ball a lot of times, 28 times. How is it to carry the ball that many times and see the holes opening up?
Just got to credit the line. It's just we played a great team on Ball State. They got a great defense. They played hard, but the offensive line really stepped up. What you saw wasn't me running. It's just a lot of great blocking from the offensive line. And then, the tight ends too. Kelvin is getting out there. He's blocking. He's the next level. And the running backs. I don't know many running backs who are going to get to the third level and make blocks, That's just, it makes me extremely fortunate. And then you look at the Corps Cadets, and they brought a lot of energy today, and you just can't thank them enough, They come out and they work hard all week, and then they come out on Saturday and support us with that much energy. So it's just great to be a part of this atmosphere. It's just awesome to be a part of this team.
Go ahead, Ron.
Angel, in preparation for a game, what's the difference between, knowing you're going to start or not knowing that you might not even get in at all?
Honestly, when we're practicing, both AJ and I, we take reps as if we're going to start the game. So every rep we take in practice, we're taking in, putting ourselves in the game. So no matter what happens, who goes out there, we're both going to be ready to play.
So let's say AJ starts, you're on the side. Are you still looking, say, at the opposition defense to see, all right, if I get in the game, what can I do, that sort of thing?
Absolutely, and I'm looking in case, because at quarterback, sometimes you may miss something. The secondary may rotate a certain position or anything like that. And I'll be looking at that. I'll be looking at the defense, and when he comes to the sideline, we'll help him out. When I'm in, he does the same thing. So we definitely help each other out. So it's important that we both stay in the game.
Larry, what was the difference when you get out the quarterback mid-game, like from AJ and Angel?
Say again, sir?
What's the difference, just mental and physical preparation in a huddle when you go with different quarterbacks within the same game?
I mean, there's not much change. Like Angel said, they take a lot of reps, and we take a lot of reps in practice. And they both do reps with the ones. I get reps with them all week long, and they both come with such an intensity, So there's not really much difference from them. I knew as soon as Angel stepped in, there's just no change of huddle. We knew that he's the same kind of determination, same kind of runs, and you knew he was going to bring it.
Go ahead, Sal.
Chris, can you talk about the second play of the game? You get that big turnover for the defense, get the offense on the field right away. You guys score.
That's just one of the big things we talked about all practice is being aggressive, going to get the ball, especially on defense. Past couple games, we besides Tim's pick six at Yale, we haven't had many turnovers, and that's one thing we harped on in practice: going to get the ball, getting the ball back to our offense, and that's just an opportunity to be aggressive and get the ball up.
You guys, just the energy on the sidelines. I don't know if you noticed it when you were on the field. The whole team was into this game. Where coach was doing play on his arms and stuff like that. Did you feel the energy on the field from the sidelines, or?
Absolutely. Like I said, it started Monday. We had a change of heart. You should have seen our practices. They were intense. Everybody was flying around. Everybody was in it, and we carried that to the game. And I can honestly say that was definitely had to do with the difference in us changing the pace and winning the game.
Go ahead, Ken.
Hey, for Larry, just 2 penalties in the game was a big difference from some of the prior games. What did you work on to avoid penalties today?
Just coming and refocusing on the game, We just really worked on the smaller parts of the game. Like, it's just a long game, and we wanted to work on play to play. I think it's just shows that the focus everybody has, and Coach Monken bringing a lot of discipline, and that's just what we went to work on this weekend. Just a lot of hard reps as fast as we can, and guys trusting that each other are going to do the right thing. I think there's a lot of trust on this team to where we don't feel like we have to do too much or think too much because we know the guy to our left and our right, our defense, our special teams are going to do their part, and I think that's a real big part of what we're doing.
Good night, Ron. Go ahead.
Jeremy, these interceptions getting a little boring now?
Oh, no way. I don't know. I was just playing Coach Bateman's defense. He's such a great defensive coordinator, and everything fits in so nicely. So I don't know what it is.
Do you find yourself maybe being a little more aggressive for the ball in terms of maybe going after it, or it just has to be in your neck of the woods?
No, I mean we've been giving up so many rush yards too, so we got to always concentrate on the run. And I think our zone defenses and how it switches up kind of just confuses the quarterback, and it's just been kind of falling into my hands, to tell you honestly.
Okay with the players? Okay, great. We'll be back with Coach Monken in a couple minutes. So we'll begin with an opening statement from Coach Monken, and then open up for questions. Coach? I'm just so incredibly proud of our team, our players, just the effort and the enthusiasm that they had out there today, and how they executed, and that's the difference. Look at the last couple of weeks. We had opportunities to win those 2 games, and we didn't come through. And it comes right down to execution of our fundamentals and our assignments. And we blew some assignments, and we didn't play our fundamentals the way that we're taught, and it cost us at times. And we did a really good job as a football team this week of practicing with a focus and an intensity that it takes to win. And I noticed on Monday when we came out, and frankly, you just don't know, and haven't gone through a season with these guys yet, to be sitting there 1-3. I didn't know what their mindset would be and how we would approach practice on Monday. But I thought the guys came out and really focused, and there's clearly an attitude among these guys that they weren't ready to quit, and they wanted to fight, and they recognized that the reasons we weren't winning those games that we had an opportunity to, and while we were falling short, fell solely on the assignments and execution of our fundamentals. And so they came out and did a great job Monday. And Tuesday and Wednesday are pretty heavy practices for us, and back-to-back, the 2 best practices we've had since we've been here. And Thursday they came back and did a good job, and that was the difference. Those guys practiced really hard and put the time in, put the investment in, and believed. And I thought just approached the game with such a great mindset, and just a credit to them and their just their resolve after having been disappointed the last couple weeks. So it was a great victory for us. That's a very well coached football team. I've such tremendous respect for Pete Limbo. He and I had faced off against each other before as head coaches, and I just think he does an unbelievable job with his team. The results that they've gotten going back-to-back bowl games the last 2 years is a testament to his ability to motivate and to coach. And Kevin Kelly, who's their defensive coordinator, he and I were assistant coaches together for 2 years, and I just think he's an outstanding football coach. And so to beat a team that I think is as talented as they are and as well coached as they are is a big victory for Army, and hopefully something we can build on.
Let's open up for questions. Go ahead, Ron.
Coach, I've really heard a coach over the years say that they had bad practices. How would you define, say, this week, saying we had a good practice? What's the difference between that good practice and that better practice or whatever?
Oh, I think I've said before we didn't practice very well. I've said that lots of times. I don't masquerade about what we are, who we do. When we have a bad practice, I tell the kids, and I'm not afraid to tell anybody we didn't practice worth a darn. And we've had some practices this year that haven't been very good, and we need to practice better. But just the intensity, the interactions that we have with offense and defense, and our scout teams practice harder than any scout teams I've ever been around, and it helps our football team. Those guys care, and they compete, and that's a thankless job. We're not going to talk about any of those guys by name up here. Nobody's going to bring up any questions and say who's your scout team defensive tackle. But I'm going to tell you, those guys work their fannies off, and it makes a difference for our football team, and they compete. And it's just the interaction, the competition, the pace that those guys, our players were trying to push the pace, more plays and more reps, and they were just so thirsty for victory, and to have to be so close and to have it slip through our fingers, they're frustrated and ticked off, and I think wanted to do something about it. So I thought our guys really did a great job of focusing on assignments, and we've had a lot of trouble with assignments. That's been we can point to missed assignments as a reason for not winning some games that we could have. And I thought we did a really good job with that this week, and it made a big difference.
What's AJ's status?
It's in terms of health.
Health, yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Why did he come out then?
We just felt like we needed to get Angel in there. It was, he had a couple of snaps. He was bobbling the snap a couple of times, and we missed a big opportunity for a play action pass. We had a guy wide open in the first half, and would have been a touchdown. And just hoping that Angel might be able to find those plays. And Angel's played a lot of football, so he's got a lot more experience. I think they're both very similar. AJ does some really good things. He's a hard runner. He's faster, probably faster than Angel if you lined him up and ran him in a race. I don't know if there's a big difference, but just felt like it was time to give Angel a chance to get back in there. And I said last week, people said, well, why are you starting AJ? Well, felt like he deserved a chance. There's not much difference between the two guys. I think they're both good, tough, hard football players. Play hard, and same today. Just like last week, he came off the bench and did a good job. He came off the bench today and did a good job.
Ask one more question about something that I asked Angel when he was here. Is there a difference preparation-wise in a quarterback's mind when he knows he's going to start, as AJ did, as opposed to maybe I'll get in the game as Angel obviously had to be thinking?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never played quarterback, so I couldn't tell you.
Go ahead, Ken.
Coach, the offense had a big day, 425 yards rushing. Larry Dixon had 188 yards. Just tell us a little bit about how the offense performed rushing, especially, and how the offensive line helped that.
I thought the offensive line made the difference, and we had a lot of guys playing that hadn't played a lot of football. We started Corey Hobbs at left tackle, and he hadn't played a lot. Colby Enegren at right guard. We had Shoemaker came off the bench. He did not start the game. He didn't practice all this week, but he came in off the bench and did a good job. We had Stephen Moreau was the starter there, and he's played some, but Hugenberg and McDonald, those were our guys, and I thought those guys really played hard, and they didn't play a perfect game, and we had to make some adjustments on the sideline and talk to them when they came off the field. You know, we missed some blocks. The fourth down there where Angel fell in and they called a touchdown and then reversed the call. We should have had a walk in there, and we didn't stay on the block like we should have with one of those guys, and so you know we usually give them a pretty good firm talking to when that happens, and I thought those guys responded really well. They were the difference in the game.
And on defense, Andrew King had 10 tackles. Jeremy Timp had another big game. It seemed like the defensive backs were able to keep the plays in front of them today.
We have so much respect for that coaching staff at Ball State and what they're capable of doing with the football. You know, that's Pete's thing. He's, like I said, I've played him before, and his teams move the ball up and down the field and score a lot of points, and they got some dangerous guys on their offense, guys that are pretty special with the ball in their hands. So we just tried to do the best we could. I thought Jay Bateman and the defensive staff really had a great plan and kept the ball in front of them and made them throw the ball in front of us. We missed some tackles. That was disappointing, but and that was a result in some big runs and the first long touchdown. But you know, our guys, they're playing as hard as they can play, and I thought the play that Jeremy made with the interception was a big play, and Carnegie stripping that ball in the opening drive, it was a big play.
Go ahead, Sal.
Coach, what kind of step do you think the program took today with the win?
That's one win. It's you know, there's a lot of season left, so it sure feels good to get a victory, and certainly I think it's something we can build on. And the way that we practiced this week, I think, is a message to our team that when you put that kind of effort in practice and you put that kind of focus and energy into making sure you know your assignments and playing your fundamentals as well as you can play them all week, it carries over into the game. And hopefully there'll be some carryover this week that we'll do the same thing. And it's a lot easier to get energized and get excited when you win. And I think any team will tell you that. You know, you can learn things from a loss, but nothing I want to learn. So I hope we can find a way to get in the victory circle again.
Can you talk about the team's energy on the sidelines today during the game? Everybody seemed to be into it. I think I saw a couple times where you threw your hands on the air trying to get the core going into the game. How much did that play into practice? You know, practicing hard and staying in the game and that kind of stuff.
Well, I heard, I steal this line from Jimbo Fisher. I heard him say it before the national championship game last year. He said, you don't win the game on emotion, you win it on execution. And he's right. You don't win on emotion alone. But when you got guys that are executing their assignments and playing with good fundamentals and technique, and there's a lot of energy and there's a lot of emotion, which helps them to play as hard as they can play. And there is you know, there's an excitement there. There's an intensity there that helps you execute those assignments and fundamentals a lot better. And I thought our guys were ready to go. And I just felt like they took the field and they were going to fight as hard as they could to win. Not that guaranteed we were going to win, but I think they weren't going to be denied victory when we got to that point where we had a chance to win. They were going to fight and give it everything they got, and part of that energy comes from the environment you're in. And I think the Corps Cadets is, you know, having that group of 4,000 people is an opportunity for us to feed off of their energy and for them to feed off of us. And so I think that really was the motivation there, was to play with high intensity as well as playing with great execution and fundamentals.
Go ahead, John.
Coach, this game had this similar feel to the Buffalo game, but It also didn't seem, it seemed different because of the interception. Is it different? Do you feel like it's different?
This game different than the Buffalo game?
Yeah, because of the way you finished.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to compare games. The whole mindset going into the Buffalo game was different than the mindset going into this game. You're coming off of 7 months of preparation, 8 months of preparation for an opening game, and just the excitement of that game. And here we were backed into a corner like a boxer, and we either throw the towel in and put our gloves up and try to absorb a bunch of punches and get out of the fight without getting killed, or fight back and fight our way out of the corner. And I think that was the difference in the mindset. You know, we going in the Buffalo game, we were undefeated. We were 0-0, and going into this game, we're 1-3, backs to the wall. And it was, you know, we were either gonna fight our way out of it, or we were gonna be a punching bag. And I really liked the way our guys responded, and that's a credit to those kids. They did it.
Go ahead, Ron.
Coach, did you have any fourth quarter apprehension when they got those 2 touchdowns and now it's not 27-10, it's 27-24? You're thinking, oh God, not again?
I don't know. I never think, oh God, not again. I mean, I always think we're going to win. It's 27-24. It wasn't 24-27. You know, we were still up a score, and if we take care of the ball and go down and get another score, we stretch back the lead back to two scores. So, which we were able to do. And I don't know. I believe in these kids. I believe that they're going to find a way, and we haven't in a couple of games found a way to do that. But it's not because anybody panicked. It's just we didn't execute our assignments and didn't play with great fundamentals and the effort we needed to all the time. And that's the difference in the game. There's such a fine line between winning and losing. You know, we got blown out at Stanford. They were a pretty good football team, and you know, we could have made it a lot closer, and we could have played a lot better, and we could have won the game had we done a lot of things differently. But the 2 games after that, you know, those are games that our guys recognize that, you know what, if I could have just done this on that play, that might have changed the football game, and they're probably right. And there's not just one play. There's a bunch of plays in those games that could have done that. So I think they were determined today to not have that happen. And I never felt like, you know, oh boy, something's going to happen bad. I think our kids were ready. I thought that they were playing their hearts out, and they were going to find a way to make a play.
Good. Last question, Ken. Go ahead.
Coach, just want to ask you about Dan Gronkowski, who had the 2 field goals today. What'd you work on with him this week after he had the tough game last week?
Well, the doctors up at Keller Army Community, what do they call it? Keller what?
Keller Army Community Hospital.
Yeah, he was there for 3 days. He didn't practice all week, so he's been in the hospital since Tuesday. He got out yesterday. So he's been sick, and so as Shaq said, we're probably going to admit him next Tuesday and let him spend the week in the hospital and see if we can kick a couple more field goals next week. So and that's the truth. He did a great job. I mean, the kid he's a competitor, and he kicked for the first time today in pregame and warm-ups.
Great. Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thanks.